All right, here we go.
Those up and send them to Donna.
Welcome to the South River Mayor and Borough Council meeting of August 22nd, 2022. Roll call.
Mayor Krenzel,
Here.
Councilwoman Ballas,
Here.
Councilman Gindi, Councilman Kurchensky,
Here.
Councilwoman Mira, Councilman Oliveira,
Here.
Council President Siula.
Here.
Thank you. Please rise. Pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. And as we should do, since we are going to have a short meeting tonight, but we must do the rubrics, would you please read the statement?
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law of 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, or remotely via Zoom, has been published in the Home News Tribune on January 6, 2022, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, the Borough website, and the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Thank you. There are no proclamations, honors, awards, or presentations. There is no agenda session. Therefore, we are going directly into the ordinances, second reading and a public hearing on 2022-28. Madam Clerk.
2022-28, an ordinance to amend the Borough of South River, Chapter 155-19.1, Section 22-62, to amend programs and class fees.
Make a motion, waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made to waive the full reading by Mr. Siula, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public. This concerns adding an adult agility class. If you would like to come up and make any comments or have any questions, please do so, giving your name and address on first call, second call, third call.
Close.
Motion has been made, moved to close by Mrs. Ballas,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Siula. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
The ordinance has been moved by Mrs. Ballas,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Kurchensky. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Kurchensky?
Yes.
Councilman Oliveira?
Yes.
Council President Siula.
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. Ordinance 2022-29. Madam Clerk.
2022-29, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of South River, Chapter 193, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, by amending Section 193.31.1, Schedule 2A, handicap parking thereof.
Make a motion, waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made by Councilman Siula to waive the full reading, seconded by Councilwoman Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. This is for the removal of a handicap parking on Northern Street. If you have any comments or questions, those of the public may come forward, and please give your name and address. On first call, second call, third call.
Motion to close public.
Motion has been made by Mr. Kurchensky to close public portion, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
The ordinance has been moved by Mrs. Ballas,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Kurchensky. Comment? Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Kurchensky?
Yes.
Councilman Oliveira?
Yes.
Council President Siula.
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. Ordinance 2022-30.
2022-30, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 255 entitled Peddling and Soliciting.
Make a motion, waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made to waive the full reading by Mr. Siula, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public, you may come forward, ask any questions, make any comments. Please give your name and address on first call, second call, third call.
Motion to close public.
Motion has been made by Mr. Kurchensky to close public portion, seconded by Mr. Oliveira. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on this ordinance concerning implementation of a no-knock registry.
Move the ordinance.
The ordinance has been moved by Mrs. Ballas,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Oliveira. Do you wish to make any comments,
Well,
Mrs.
once
Ballas?
the allotted time period passes, 20 days?
20 days.
Then we'll advertise on TV 35 or any other way that people can register for it.
Okay. And what is this going to do?
Oh,
The no-knock ordinance.
Yes, what is this going
Well,
to do?
it will,
So the residents will have to register
yeah,
in the clerk's office. This way, if any solicitors come into town, they'll be handed that list, not to go to any of those residents and knock on the doors.
and once residents register, they will get a
Decal.
count to
Decal.
put on, so if somebody does come, then they can be reported.
And I will just add that there are certain exemptions and the fact that Mrs. Ballas has been patiently trying to push this for many, many months. Finally, it has gotten through. Please let the record note that Mr. Gindi has arrived. If there's no other comments, discussions, roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
No knock around.
Councilman Krasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. We have one ordinance, first reading by title only, ordinance 2022-31. Madam Clerk?
2022-31, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of South River, Chapter 193, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, by amending Section 193-31.1, Schedule 2A, handicap parking thereof.
Your pleasure on the ordinance.
I move that the council pass ordinance 2022-31 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law, with a second reading and public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on September 12th. Let me just, 12th, thank you. September 12th by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River, New Jersey.
Motion has been made by Mr. Ciula, seconded by Mr. Oliveira. This is for handicap parking adding Suntag Street. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Krasinski?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes.
We will revisit this at our meeting in September. Moving on to reports, as we traditionally do. Mr. Koch, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everybody. The 2020 and 2021 roads are done. We have a change order and progress payment on your agenda tonight. And once we get DOT approval for everything, then we can close that out. The 2022 project is out to bid. Bids are scheduled to be received on August 1st. The 2023 local aid program, probably in a few months, we will hear the announcements on that, perhaps sooner. The Transportation Alternative Set-Aside Program, I'm not aware of anything that you want to pursue on that, but if you do, please let me know. The substation maintenance, I've been in touch with High Energy Electric. They're having a difficult time getting a price from the vendor for the SCADA system. And once they do, my plan is, I wanted to have it on this night's agenda, but I will hopefully be able to get it from them and get it on for your next agenda so that that change order can be processed. Will be a $0 change order, just moving money around in the line items. And well number 2 replacement, the well is operational, and we're working with the contractor to just sort out some of the little, with the controls, just getting some of the functions to properly operate. But it can be used if necessary. And that is it, sir.
Okay. Any questions or comments to our borough engineer? Okay. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
To our CFO, Mr. Zenga.
Yes, thank you. Two resolutions on the agenda. The first one is authorizing refund for taxes and utilities, and the second one is authorizing a lighting package, cages, and consoles for the police vehicles under state contract. We're doing this resolution now. You'll see a resolution to purchase the police vehicles in either the next meeting or the meeting thereafter, but we're trying to get this process started due to supply chain issues and everything else. That's it.
Okay. Any questions, comments to our CFO? I do notice that our fire chief is here. Do you have any comments?
Yes, sir, everything went well. All state reports have been submitted on time, all units are in service. I want to personally thank all members, not only from our department, but also from the surrounding communities that helped out with the Tice Avenue fire.
Thank you. Job well done. To our head of the DPW, Mr. Soares.
Yes, Mayor. Tomorrow, we'll be replacing a hydrant on the corner of Thomas and George. And on Wednesday, we'll be replacing one on Tice Avenue. And also, We just had our brush pile mulched up, so residents can come down to the DPW yard on Saturdays from 8 to 12 to pick up free wood chips if they like, as much as they like. And also, we'll be closed on Monday, September 5th for Labor Day. There'll be no grass and brush pickup that day. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mayor, if you don't mind. Age, if it's possible, I'd like to meet with you and Artie just to go over, brainstorm about some field ideas. Right now, we're so limited. Gronkowski could only be used for baseball, veterans for soccer, and we have so many individuals that want to use the fields, but we just don't have the space. So I wanted to talk about some ideas possibly with Daly's Pond, what we can do at Varga Park. And then the other thing is, I know we have the empty blacktop lot at Varga Park right now. Would it be possible to set up 2 pickleball courts in there? It's currently it's not being used. A couple $100 we can probably line and get the nets, and pickleball has become a huge sport now. So I don't know if that's something that's possible, but I just wanted to sit with you and Art and just kind of brainstorm on some things we can do.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Anyone else? No? Chief?
The only thing I got, Mayor, is on the agenda is the appointment of Ryan O'Connor to probationary police officer. Ryan is already a certified police officer. He's an alternate route recruit that graduated from the Atlanta County Police Academy with Daniel Asiello. If appointed, he will start tomorrow. This will bring our numbers up to 32 police officers, which we haven't had in a long time, because of retirements. So he will be starting. Daniel Asiello, he is on his 7th week of field training officer program, so he won't be fully certified to go on the road until another 5 weeks. And the only other thing that I have is before our next council meeting, school is starting. So we are working on different traffic patterns up at the school. We're trying to find different ways to alleviate the traffic. There's no perfect way, but I know Sergeant Urick, along with the DPW director and the superintendent, we're trying to find a better way to keep traffic moving along. So as school gets closer, I know the school will be sending out a message out there about the different traffic patterns that we're going to be trying out. And if we can get one that helps alleviate the traffic on the streets and in the back there, we'll probably come up with a ordinance change or a resolution to change some of the patterns. All right, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? No? Very good. Thank you, Chief. Anything from the clerk's office?
No, nothing for this meeting.
Okay, then. Into our legal office?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Anything from our BA?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to thank the staff of the Recreation Department for the wonderful job they did at the fireworks. I'd like to thank the Fire Department, the Police Department, DPW for your help. Very successful. The only other thing, Mayor, that I wanted to bring the council up to speed on Resolution 2022-225. That's for the installation of muffin monsters. What the muffin monsters are existing mechanics in the sewer pumping stations. And as you know, we've been preaching for a while about people putting the wrong stuff in their toilets. Well, they wrecked both the muffin monsters. And one can be repaired, the other has to be replaced at Jackson Street. And just so the public knows, that's costing the borough $83,783. Because, and again, I can only urge people to only put down the toilets, things that are supposed to go down the toilets. It's costing the borough a lot of money. Hopefully, we have the 4 to 6 weeks delivery on these. Hopefully, it'll be sooner so that we can get them both. They're in operation, but what this does is grinds up the matter to come through so that you have less clogs. And it also sends over more stuff to the MCUA than we really want to. Our bill in the MCUA is spiraling out of control. Next year, we're looking at possibly $150,000 increase to $200,000. next year unless we have a meeting scheduled with the engineer and myself and the MCOA, try to see if we can figure out what's going on here. The influx of infiltration possibly is a problem. We would have to look again about starting a program of relining or replacing where, if we can narrow down where the infiltration is getting into the systems. That's basically it, Mayor.
Okay. Any comments, questions? Because I'm just going to say, what you just heard is one of the reasons why we're slowly moving towards having a separate water utility, which we build separately, or water and sewer. The reason why is because over the years, because our water and sewer is connected to our current fund, we can only raise the price, raise the rates at 2%. We just heard what an astonishingly large amount that's going to go up. That hurts our current fund. The problems of the up and downs of the sewer is a problem that we have to be able to address. On the other hand, we are stuck with the system that we have now. At one time, it made sense to have it together, but not anymore. So we're slowly doing this. COVID has put us years behind, but slowly we are going to be moving to a water and sewer utility, separate billing for that from the taxes, so that when we do have something like this, we'll be able to address it faster and be able to handle it better. So be more efficient operation. So that's something that's coming down the future. Mr. Gindi got here. Why don't I start on this side? Mr. Gerchens? Yep.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things. Let's see. Okay. Well, as our director of our DPW had mentioned, we have free mulch to the residents on Saturdays. You bring your own containers. We really don't want any commercial people showing up and everything too. This is basically for the residents right now. And it is on weekends, and it is when the DPW is open from 8 till 1? 8 till 12. 8 till 12 on Saturdays. They will be closed, as he had mentioned before too, on September 5th, which is Labor Day on a Monday. And there will be no yard pickup on that Monday. No yard waste. Okay, the Office on Aging has an indoor flea market coming up this Friday, August 26th, from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. And it is at 55 Reed Street for anyone who wishes to visit and see it. The end of summer event, like they had mentioned, was a huge success and everything, but unfortunately there was a bit of a tragedy there with the fire on Tice Avenue, and anyone wanting to contribute anything, well, right now they're asking for just gift cards. To contact Patrol Person Danielle Stone at 732-254-1150, an extension 136, or you can email Adam Delhanes at ADEHANES at South River Police Department, srpd.org. With that, I hope to see everyone on September 11th for Patriots Day at 6:30 at Daly's Pond to give our remembrance to the people that we have lost. With that, I thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Oliveira?
Yeah, so for Board of Ed, we have a Board of Ed meeting scheduled for this upcoming Thursday. So I'll provide an update at the next meeting. For South River Parks and Rec, as Mr. Lundensky mentioned, want to give a huge thank you to the DPW, fire, police, and of course our recreation department. The event got bigger, it was successful, the fireworks were awesome. So I just want to thank everyone for their hard work. Next year we're looking at expanding and potentially partnering, so we're really excited about the outcome. And with fall baseball, we're currently at 3 baseball teams, which is, in the last 10, 15 years is unheard of. So we're very excited about that. And we do want to thank the South River Little League as they allowed us to use their facility. So thank you again to them. And thank you to all the partners that participated with the end of summer fireworks.
Thank you, Mr. Oliveira. Mr. Ciula?
Thank you. The EDC met on Wednesday, a lot of positive. We had some contractors and business owners there. They gave a lot of good feedback. The other Downtown Alliance is progressing very well, and hopefully we have something with that within the next month or so. Just to touch base on what Jason said, a lot of positive feedback with the fireworks and the end of the summer festival. Everybody that I spoke with had a great time. And again, as Chief Smith said, thank everybody for a great job they did at the fire on Tice. That, Mayor, thank you.
Okay. Alice?
Okay, last week I attended our Board of Health meeting, which we're still doing Zoom, which is fine. What they want to do is get together and a committee to get started on bringing back the Frost on the Pumpkin race, not just leave it up to the members of the Board of Health, because it is a lot of work. So you can contact Michelle at the administration office at 48 Washington Street, who will also be any organization that wants to sponsor a food drive. We're looking to have that done also. The food pantry is getting low on many things. They're accepting donations all the time, but both of those, you can get in touch with Michelle at 732-257-1999, and she's the administration button 1. So anybody that wants to get interested in the Force of the Pumpkin, we'd really like to bring it back for next year. And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Gindi?
Thank you. Well, the Utilities Committee finally met on August 15th. Surprisingly, most of the things that the Director Adriana has been bringing up in the past 8 months has been brought up to our meetings. But as a formality, we met. They touched on how the substation battery project was done. All of the wells are now up and running. The mulch, you could come down to the DPW on Saturday and pick up as much as you can. They're trimming trees to get them away from from power lines. They touched on how our vehicles, there are quite a few vehicles that are in disrepair that we should consider replacing or investing in a little bit more to get them going. They also touched on how they could use a sanitation worker here and there, hopefully within the early next year, hopefully, if the budget shows it. But it was a good conversation. Myself, Councilman Krasinski was there. Councilman Ciola could not make it. But it was a good turnout. We look to do it hopefully maybe early next year, if not late the winter time. So thank you, Adriana, for meeting with us. On Planning Board, our next meeting will be on September 20th, and the Zoning Board is going to have their meeting tomorrow, which is going to be right here. As for the Municipal Alliance, the car show is held on September 15th. It's going to be from 5 to 9 o'clock. We're going to be locking down the roads right around 4:30. It's supposed to be a great event. We have quite a few car clubs coming down, so make it a point to be down there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll save my comments for later. Opening this up to the public. You may come forward. You'll have 10 minutes to ask any questions, make any comments, and you can please give your name and address on first call, second call, third call.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Oliveira. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. There are no mayoral appointments. Therefore, we go to the consent resolutions. Madam Clerk?
Whereas Resolution 2022-01 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize a consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Now therefore be it, and it is hereby resolved that the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole, as if the same were individually acted upon. Consent Resolutions 2022-216 to 2022-226. 216, authorizing conditional appointment of Ryan O'Connor as police officer. 217, authorizing tax collector to refund double payment in the amount of $3,098.28 to Foundation Title NJ. 218, authorizing tax collector to cancel 2022 third and fourth quarter and 2023 first and second quarter taxes in the amount of $1,674.56. 219, authorizing certain utility refunds. 220, authorizing change order number 2 for the project known as 2020 and 2021 roadway improvements. 221, authorizing a contract with East Coast Emergency Lighting Incorporated. 222, accepting August 1st, 2022 regular and executive session minutes. 223, authorizing the bills and claims list. 224, appoint South River Public Library Board of Trustees member. 225, authorizing the purchase of installation of a muffin monster. 226, authorizing the South River Fire Department to conduct a boot drive on September 10th, 2022.
Motion to pass the consent resolution?
Motion has been made by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Olivera. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes, with an abstention on 222, as I was not at that meeting.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes, with the abstention to consent 226, and then 223, 22-01958.
Councilman Kurczynski?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes, with the exception of 226, and on 223, 22-01958, 01842, and 01427.
The resolutions have been approved. There is no new business. We now go to the governing body comments for the good and welfare of the borough. Mr. Gindi?
Weather is winding down. School is coming back into session, thank God. Be safe out there. And remember your neighbors. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mrs. Ballas?
Yeah, also on the schools, I know the kids are going now to get their backpacks, their clear backpacks and their IDs. I saw them walking around town today, so be careful of them already. The fire department, the ladies auxiliary, the police department, and all the surrounding first responders, thank you for your actions at the fire on Tice Avenue. It was fortunate, there was no injuries, but remember that family, as was mentioned before, and donate if you can. The fireworks, that whole night was such a success. I'm fortunate enough to watch it from my driveway, surrounded by a lot of people who had nothing but great things to say about that whole night. It just was a great way to end the summer. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Olivera?
Yeah, as everyone mentioned, just big thank you to the fire department for everything that was done on Tice Ave. For September 12th, I unfortunately will not be at the next meeting because it is my daughter's birthday, and she's celebrating the big 4th birthday, so she will not be happy if I skip it to attend a council meeting.
No.
But besides that, school's coming back. Please, as Chief mentioned, be patient. We know traffic is going to be, especially the first couple of days, it's going to be a little hectic. Just be mindful, be patient. I know the horn is there to honk, but not in that situation. So I just wish everyone a safe return to school. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Kurczynski?
Thank you, Mayor. Of course, like everyone else has said, the end of summer event was quite well and everything like that too, aside from the tragedy. And if anyone does have the gift cards or anything like that to donate to the police department, which are handling them, police person Danielle and dispatcher Adam will be taking care of that. With that, watch for children, make sure your neighbors are okay. It's hot, be careful out there, and hopefully we'll see you on September 11th for the remembrance of Patriots Day. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Council President?
Thank you. To let everybody know, we have a new business that just opened up at 330 William Street. It's a new waste hauler. So good luck to them. And very disturbing message came across Facebook from a resident that said that the fire department took too long to get there. Well, the fire department arrived minutes after the first alarm was transmitted. They had water on the fire. We did have a problem with a hydrant, which was taken care of, but there was water on the fire. So if this resident thinks that the fire department took too long, maybe this resident should come down to the fire department and join and help out instead of staying behind Facebook and complaining. So to the resident who did complain, please come down to the firehouse and get an application and then we'll send you to the fire academy, and you can respond with the fire department for the alarms. And with that, Mayor, again, just be very careful with the kids back in school, and that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. As mentioned, the planning board did approve a new business coming into town. We welcome them with open arms. The fireworks the other night, smashing success. Everybody enjoyed themselves. Lots of people came. Excellent end of the year fireworks display. Tice Avenue, I thank all of the first responders, not only from South River, but from all the towns that came. It was quite something to see. Excuse me. And yes, put out a call. I echo the call. You know, we have a volunteer fire force. They're not sitting at the firehouse. They have to get to the firehouse, get dressed, get into the trucks, and make it away to the fire. It takes time. Simple as that. It just takes time. And instead of complaining, you know, come and join. And if you can't do it, you got a young man, young woman there, have them join. Give something back to South River. It's something that's worthwhile. I'm very impressed by the fact is that, in fact, you'll see a picture, it's going to be in the home news too, of the young firefighter that went inside the burnt out house. I mean, it's like, if you saw that house going up, I mean, Kevin Nielsen, fantastic pictures, Kevin, of that whole thing, just a wall of fire. And there they are wandering around inside. You don't know whether they're going to go right into the basement or what, but they know what they're doing. They're trained. It's worthwhile. So if you can, by all means, please join. Just going down the line, Happy Labor Day will be coming up upon us. Nice day not to labor, but also to remember our unions that have fought for the workers. School will be reopening. You heard about the kids. Please be respectful to the police officers who are directing traffic. They are trying to herd cats up there. Everybody wants to have their kid dropped off at the closest point to the school. Listen to what the police officer is saying. If they tell you not to go in one direction, do not go in that direction, please. You know, keep an eye out, especially if it's raining. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. So be respectful, not only to the police, but to the other parents who are dropping their kids off. Patriots Day, the 9/11 ceremony is at 6:30. It's 45 minutes, and like the Memorial Day Parade, is a chance for South River to come together and to remember those events that occurred, you know, just, some 20, 21 years ago. So it's something that we still commemorate here in South River, and it's worthwhile spending a few minutes there. The next day will be our council meeting, September the 12th, and we will see you there. Because everybody's always welcome to come here or watch on TV. Is there anything else to come before us? Hearing none, may I have a motion to close the meeting? And motion has been made by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Ciula. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Happy Labor Day.